My so-called life is sponsored by Smoother than an android's bottom.
Smooth as an android's bottom, eh, Data? I beg your pardon, sir?
How's it going? I am Godless Sewing, and this is the Godless Sewing channel. And today, I'm going to be talking about how to properly thread a Singer 301A sewing machine. And I scored one of the most bootleg sewing machines that I have ever seen in my life. So, as always, wear a helmet, strap on your seatbelt, and let's go sewing. So, there I was in beautiful sunny Santa Paula, California, minding my own business, going around from thrift store to thrift store. I stumbled into a Goodwill and I found this. This is a Morse sewing machine, one of the most bootlegged and stolen sewing machines in the history of sewing machines. This particular model was made of cast iron, so I can kind of judge the age, but the company was founded in 1948 by a man named Philip Morris, who has no relation to the other tobacco giant, Philip Morris. But what Mr. Morris would do is take Japanese goods and put American tags or put his name, which is Morse, on it. The one thing that Morse made money on the most were sewing machines. So what he would do was take Japanese sewing machines, which at the time were the most technologically advanced sewing machines in the world, and quite literally put his tag on it. This machine I have right here is a cross between a Nelco N100 and a Singer 301A. It quite literally has the same parts, it has the same make, but because it was made in Japan, it has a completely different design. And even back then in America, no one knew what Morris was doing. He eventually got sued by, I believe it's the Federal Trades Commission, at least that's what it was called back then. He eventually got sued, and no one really knows what action was taken. But by the time the 70s came around, Morris just stopped making sewing machines. So, if you have a Morse sewing machine, they're actually odd and kind of rare. But like I always say, instead of talking about it, let's go check it out. All right, so at this point, I always say if it works, I'm gonna throw a ton of stickers on it and add it to the fleet. But like I said, this is one of the most bootlegged machines on earth. And a lot of the time, if you see a sewing machine at a thrift store, it's broken. And someone like me is probably gonna buy it, someone who refurbishes sewing machines. But with all that being said, when I got the machine, the light didn't work. But because, like I said, this machine is a carbon copy of 4 different machines, I had the parts for it. So I just happened to have the light for it. It was completely missing the bobbin case and everything, but I had it. So the fact that the light turns on and I can do this is an utter and complete victory. The feed dogs are still not coming up completely to the position where it needs to be, but that's why it's here, because I can fix it. So, as always, reinforce your seams and fix something. So we go from the bootleg to the real deal. This is a Singer 301A sewing machine, and the reason why it's called a 301 is because of the town it came from. It's the first portable sewing machine. I believe it's the first slant sewing machine sold in America as well that was portable. But the one thing I love about this machine is that it still works. After all these years, it still goes through leather. I still use it for denim all the time. It's just an amazing machine. The amount of care that was put into these machines are just amazing. So first thing you do is make sure that you find the hook on the back, and then there's a tension guide right in the front. And there's a trick to these machines because this brace right here is going to be used twice. So once you go through the front brace, you go out and around the tension, through the tension discs, and you want to make sure, you hear that click? You want to make sure that you get the spring, and then you come back up through the tension bar. If I could get that through, there you go. And then you put that through the eye of the needle, come all the way through. There's yet another guide right here in front, and then you come back down and there's another guide as well, and then there's another and there is one more right here, and then you thread your needle. All right. I'm a pirate, so I go left to right. Most people go right to left. All right. Once you get that through, so the trick with the bobbin is that you want to hold this end. You do one full revolution, and I don't know if you could see it, but it literally loops around the bottom thread. So when you close out, oh, maybe I didn't get it all the way. Oh, keep turning. There we go. And it hooked it. So let's see if it works. All right, so threaded the machine, hopefully. And let's see what happens. And another perfect stitch. So in the end, the Morse sewing machine was more bootleg than those $5 movies that you buy in your local downtown area, but it still works. It was made in Japan, so it's just better built, and it was built to last also. And as always, my Singer sewing machine absolutely is a beast, and all you have to do is know how to properly thread the older sewing machines, and they will work forever, and they will outlast us. So as always, reinforce your seams, be yourself, love who you are, and I will definitely see you next time.
I still have a lot of questions to ask you about your past.
I've given you all the answers I'm capable of.
You've given me answers, all right, but they were all different. What I want to know is, out of all the stories you told me, which ones were true and which ones weren't?
My dear doctor, they're all true.
Even the lies?
Especially the lies.